feel it instantly. That sharp, icy sting of a comment that sounds like a compliment, but feels like a punch in the gut. The heavy, suffocating silence that follows a simple question. The backhanded praise, the eye roll disguised as a blink. The fine that clearly means everything is far from fine. Passive aggression is a coward's weapon. It is designed to inflict pain without the sender having to take responsibility for the wound. It is a psychological trap meant to pull you into an emotional swamp where you either explode in anger and look like the crazy one, or you swallow the insult and let the poison sit in your stomach. But there is a third way, a way rooted in the ancient, unshakable wisdom of Stoicism that doesn't just defend you, it completely disarms the aggressor while leaving your dignity and your peace of mind entirely untouched. Before we go any further, realize this. When someone is passive-aggressive toward you, they are not winning. They are demonstrating an internal failure of courage. They are upset, but they lack the emotional maturity to be direct. They are attempting to steal your peace because they have lost their own. Most people react by defending themselves or attacking back, but that is exactly what the aggressor wants. They want to be the victim of your reaction. To stop this cycle, you must realize that you are not a participant in their drama unless you choose to be. In the next few minutes, we are going to look at the deep psychology of why these hidden attacks happen and provide you with 5 specific, calm sentences that will end the game instantly. To master these situations, we must first understand the architecture of the attack. Psychologically, passive aggression is a manifestation of low-agency conflict. The person feels powerless or resentful, but they are too afraid of direct confrontation to speak their truth. Instead, they leak their frustration through sarcasm, procrastination, or subtle sabotage. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." When you react with sarcasm or frustration, you are essentially mirroring their dysfunction. You are becoming exactly like the person who is trying to hurt you. The Stoic objective is not to win an argument, but to remain a citadel, a fortress of calm that is completely unaffected by the storms of others. We do this by refusing to play the game of subtext. We bring their hidden meaning into the harsh light of day, where passive aggression cannot survive. It is like turning on a light in a room full of shadows. The shadows don't fight the light, they simply cease to exist. Sentence number 1. Can you clarify exactly what you meant by that? This is the most powerful tool in your psychological arsenal because it targets the very foundation of passive aggression. Plausible deniability. The aggressor needs their comment to be just a joke or just a suggestion so they can retreat if they are challenged. When you ask for clarification without anger, without a sneer, and with genuine cold curiosity, you are shining a spotlight on a cockroach. You are forcing them to either explain their insult, which makes them look petty and small, or to withdraw it entirely. Imagine a coworker says, "Oh, I wish I could afford to take a vacation as long as yours." Some of us are just so essential to the team. Most people would get defensive and start listing their hard work. Instead, you look them in the eye and say calmly, "Can you clarify exactly what you meant by that?" Now, the burden of proof has shifted. They are the ones who have to explain why they said something so backhanded. Usually they will stumble, mutter something about it being just a joke, and realize that their weapon no longer works on you. You have remained a stoic by not letting the comment penetrate your inner citadel. You are not defending your vacation, you are questioning their communication. Sentence number 2. I'm sensing some frustration. If you have a specific concern, I'm ready to listen to it directly. This is what we call the compassionate wall. This sentence works because it identifies the emotion the other person is trying so desperately to hide. In psychology, this is known as affect labeling. Research shows that when you name an emotion, it actually reduces the activity in the amygdala, the part of the brain responsible for the fight or flight response. By naming the frustration, you strip it of its power to manipulate you. But here is what most people get wrong. They use this sentence as a weapon, dripping with sarcasm. For this to work with Stoic authority, your tone must be neutral, almost clinical. You are not accusing them. You are offering them a bridge. You are saying, "I am an adult who deals in reality. If you want to join me here in the world of direct communication, you can. but I will not join you in the shadows of subtext. This is where people lose control. They get caught up in the he said, she said. By offering a direct path, you maintain the high ground and signal that you are unshakable. You are essentially telling them that their hidden tactics are visible to you, and therefore they are useless. Sentence number 3, thank you for your perspective. This is the ultimate dead end for an aggressor. This third sentence is what actually changes the power dynamic of a conversation from a tug of war to a solo walk. Passive-aggressive people are looking for a hook. They want a reaction. They want you to argue, to explain yourself, or to get defensive because that validates their relevance. When you say thank you for your perspective and then move on to the next topic, you are giving them absolutely nothing to grab onto. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic teachers, taught that we are only harmed if we believe we're harmed. If someone calls you a name and you don't care, have you been injured? No. By treating their jab as a mere perspective, rather than a truth or a threat, you categorize it as irrelevant data. You aren't agreeing with them. You aren't disagreeing. You are simply acknowledging that they spoke, and then you are moving on with your life. It is the verbal equivalent of a shrug. It signals that their opinion of you has zero impact on your internal state. This is incredibly frustrating for a passive-aggressive person because it demonstrates that they have no power over your emotions. Sentence number 4, I'm going to focus on the facts of the situation for now. This is the logical pivot. Passive aggression thrives on emotion, nuance, and vibes. It is a cloud of smoke designed to obscure the truth. This sentence acts as a high-powered fan that blows the smoke away. When someone makes a snide comment about your choices or your performance, they are trying to make the conversation about your character or your worth. By pivoting back to the facts, you bring the conversation back to the objective world, the world of the Stoic. For example, if a partner says, I guess the dishes are just going to live in the sink now, instead of getting into an argument about who does more work, you say, the facts are that I have been working late and the dishes are still there. If you'd like to make a schedule for chores, let's do that now. You have remained a Stoic. You have remained professional and objective. You have taken their emotional bait and replaced it with a practical solution. You are refusing to engage with the insult and instead engaging only with the reality. This makes their emotional outburst look entirely out of place and unnecessary. Sentence number 5. I'm happy to have this conversation when we can both be direct. This is the most important sentence of all because it establishes a boundary of self-respect. Stoicism is often misunderstood as being a doormat or a silent sufferer. It is the opposite. It is the realization that your time, your energy, and your mental peace are your most valuable assets, and you have a duty to protect them. This sentence is what you use when the other person refuses to drop the act. You are not walking away in a huff. You are setting a standard for how you will be communicated with. By saying this, you are saying, I value myself too much to participate in a dishonest interaction. You aren't asking for permission to leave the conversation. You are stating the conditions under which the conversation will continue. This is the moment where you take back your power. It is high agency, high authority, and incredibly effective. It forces the other person to realize that if they want access to you, they have to meet you at a level of maturity that they may not currently possess. But here's what's happening beneath the surface. The goal of mastering these 5 sentences is not to beat the other person. That is a small, ego-driven goal that the Stoics would warn us against. The real goal is the preservation of your internal state. Marcus Aurelius reminds us in his Meditations, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Passive aggression is an outside event. It is a noise made by another human being. It only becomes a problem when you allow it to enter your mind, stir your emotions, and dictate your behavior. When you use these sentences, you are building a filter. You are deciding what is allowed to affect you and what is simply background noise. You are practicing prosoche, the Stoic concept of mindfulness or attention. You are paying attention to your own reaction rather than the other person's provocation. This is where true freedom lies. It is the realization that no one can make you feel inferior, angry, or small without your consent. Passive-aggressive people are essentially professional consent seekers. They are constantly asking for your permission to upset you. These 5 sentences are your way of saying, consent denied. The more you practice this calm, direct approach, the more you will notice a shift in your environment. People who rely on manipulation and shadows will begin to find you difficult to deal with. Not because you are aggressive, but because you are transparent. You have become a mirror that reflects their behavior back at them. And most people who hide behind passive aggression cannot stand the sight of their own reflection. They will eventually stop targeting you because they know they won't get the emotional hit they are looking for. They will go look for someone else who is easier to rattle. By adopting this Stoic framework, you are doing more than just winning a social interaction. You are building a character that is resilient, clear-headed, and deeply centered. You are moving from a state of being a victim of your environment to being the master of your internal world. This is not just about shutting down a snide comment at work or a sarcastic remark from a relative. It is about reclaiming your life. It is about deciding that your peace is non-negotiable. True freedom is not the absence of difficult people. You will encounter them your entire life. True freedom is the development of a character that difficult people cannot disturb. It is the ability to stand in the middle of a storm and remain as still as a mountain. If you found value in this mental framework, I want you to consider how you might apply just one of these sentences in your life tomorrow. Don't try to use all 5 at once. Just choose one. Notice the feeling of power that comes not from raising your voice, but from lowering your emotional reactivity. Notice how much more energy you have at the end of the day when you haven't spent it fighting shadows. If you are committed to the path of self-mastery, stoic clarity, and protecting your mental health, consider subscribing to join us for our next session. We dive deep into the intersection of ancient wisdom and modern psychology to help you navigate a chaotic world with a calm mind. Write the word clarity in the comments if you are choosing to stay calm in the face of chaos today. It tells me you've made it to the end and that you are serious about this journey. Keep your mind a citadel. We will speak again soon.